You know, we experimented with that several years ago. We thought our entertainment coverage was pretty good and was unique, which we still think that. And we charged, I think it was $9.95 a month to get calendar online, and people went nuts. They hated it. They stopped going to it. In fact, we took that down 3 or 4 years ago. For a year or two after that, people wouldn't even click on the button, even though it was free, because they thought we were going to charge them for it. So, I mean, I haven't, except for the Journal of the Financial Times, which published information about finance that people feel like they have to have. I mean, there isn't anybody else that's, able to get away with charging for it. That's the whole culture of the internet that we're trying to.
Well, I have a follow-up question. If 9/10 of your revenue is rent, and you say you can't answer the $64,000 question, then why are you putting all this money into building a website? Really, 1/10 of your revenues are.
Because that's where, because advertisers, what's happening is that our print revenue continues to fall, and it's accelerating in the recession. I mean, it's picking up pretty dramatically, and our web revenue continues to grow. So it's 10% right now, but 3 years ago it was like 5%. 2 years ago it was 7.5%. So at some point, the stuff I read, I think somebody thinks it's 2018. Those lines are going to cross, and the problem is that the web dollar only returns about 20 cents to the bottom line. The print dollar returns like 80. So it's while it's growing, it's a much less profitable business. And that's the trick, is that we're an expensive operation. The content that we produce, we have to figure out a way to make the web content, and we're doing this indispensable to people, and put more and more and more of it out there. We're doing a lot of work with data. A lot of papers have good success with like databases. So where do you live?
I live in Sherman Oaks.
In Sherman Oaks. So we're going to roll out some neighborhood pages in the coming months that are going to be able to take, you're going to be able to take on the web down to your neighborhood. We could never do that in the paper. It would be way too expensive. And so you'll be able to look up crime in your neighborhood, the local school test scores, what houses sold for, what houses are in foreclosure, what this principal makes at the local school. You're going to get a whole bunch of that stuff, and we're going to open that up and let you populate it with what's going on in your neighborhood. We don't have to have reporters in Sherman Oaks. We got how many people live in Sherman Oaks, and a lot of them are time subscribers. We got a bunch of smart people out there who can tell us what's going on in Sherman Oaks. We don't have the we no longer have the monopoly on just delivering information out there. So that's the kind of things we're going to try to do. And you have to be an optimist to be in my job. You have to believe that we will be able to reimagine the paper in a way that will make it more relevant and make it feel more indispensable to you, so we can hang on to that business and make sure that we're going to be around in print for another 126 years.
Gentlemen in the vest, and then let's go over we'll just pick up these last two on the side if that's okay. Now all the hands go up, right, when I say please ask questions. I'm sorry, please go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, one of the things that I think that would help circulation, personal opinion, is that there are stories that are not covered. As for instance, airlines are losing money because of the high cost of fuel. Truck drivers have to charge more for the product. We're paying more at the store for transportation. Cab drivers are losing money because of the high cost of gasoline. Families can't go on vacations. Nobody talks about drilling for oil except those people that are affected by it, and there's no stories on that. They're all blaming the big oil companies, but the fact is there should be a series of articles saying we have to drill to become self-sufficient. Is that ever going to happen?
That's a good question. I'll have to check and find out. I don't know if we're working on those stories or not, but we've done some stuff on alternative sources of energy, but they tend to be non-oil in nature, with the belief that and then we're not going to it's a finite resource, right? Or we think it's a finite resource.
All right, but, we're in the lightning round now. The gentlelady, and then right here.
Hi, I'm Natalie Amanijan. I'm actually the editor of Pierce College's newspaper Roundup. Yeah, I just wanted to put in a little input since our sole demographic is the one you're trying to understand. Well, I know that we love the guide at our paper. I mean, when we get it on Thursdays, we just dissect that thing. We dissect LA Magazine like crazy. We love it. A touch of literary journalism really does get to us. So let me tell you, we do like reading some things that are long. We're not completely illiterate. So I was just wondering, have you ever thought of maybe putting them together and creating like a guide, LA Magazine type just having some literary journalism with a lot of reviews and places to go on the weekends. Because I mean, I'm only 20, so when I look at those things, I'm like, where can I go? I'm only under 20. I'm under 21. So
okay.
where can I go? And I know a lot of
Yeah.
college students who
Yeah,
listen.
that's I hate to sound like a broken record, but that's one of the things we're taking a look at with our feature, our top to bottom feature overall. And we launched the guide, I think it was last fall, and we, you know, it didn't have a good navigation to it. It was hard to read and it wasn't very guiding. So we've made a bunch of tweaks to it of late, and we're trying to do that. And we launched, what's today, the 24th. So 2 weeks ago, we launched the guide online. That's if you haven't been on that yet, I'd be curious to hear your take on it, but it's a really cool, it's the best technology and the best presentation we've been able to develop so far. And are you reading the Birds of Paradise? Speaking of literary stuff at all?
Yes, yeah, I actually was thinking about contributing, but I was like kind of too busy. So.
Yeah, okay. The competition, that's brutal, by the way. People have
It's
been,
catching on.
Oh yeah, we had to bring in extra editing help because we were blown away by the response to that. That has been, you know, we only give people a few hours to get a story up, and we've had over 4,000 submissions in the last some days, and some people have been. I mean, it's turned into a tour de force. It's really cool, and it's something that, again, you know, we have really smart readers who want to interact with us more. We need to provide. I mean, this is sort of a. This is it's an experiment, and it's not a serious journalism one, but it's a great experiment for reader interactivity, and we need to figure out how to do that with more things.
My name's Ron Fleury. I'm with Channel 4 News. I'm a photographer, and I was interested in some of the remarks you made about KTLA. The folding together of the two organizations, is that?
Can't give you any trade secrets.
No, I'm not looking for that. But you're saying that you're developing video in the print people,
right,
or in the web people, and you've got an existing video outlet that's
right,
doing news on video. So,
but they,
is there going to be a cross-pollination?
Yeah, KTLA. I mean, they've got their own news program to feed. I believe they've got something less than a half a dozen trucks to run around town all day long, so they can't be dropping everything to every time we call. But we share our budgets with them every morning. They know what we're up to, and we're you know, 5 years ago we'd be terrified to share our budgets, our news budgets with anybody. We're afraid something would leak out. Well, they're a sister company of ours. We can trust them to respect what we're doing, and vice versa. And so, if they see things that we're covering that they're interested in, they'll go commit a truck and help us shoot. They get the story from us. It's a win-win. We get the video that we wouldn't be able to get. That we buy a lot from CNN and somebody else's name escapes me off the top of my head. Video from must be the AP, two sources. But so you know, I don't think that we're not. I don't think we're going to have members of our print staff are going to become such accomplished video journalists that that we're going to be taking somebody's job away at KTLA. But we have converted about 10% of our photography staff, which does know what they're doing with the cameras. Last year we converted about 10 of them to shoot nothing but video, and we've been using them on higher enterprise stories. And our photo editor, Colin Crawford, was telling me the other day that we think within a year or two we won't be using cameras anymore, that everything for the paper, everything will be shot on video.
And the end point for that video is going to be people's PDAs or phones or something very low quality, or is it going to be?
Well, it should be. I mean, it should be across. It should be on our website. It should be available for and on mobile. Yep, that's an area we got to devote some time to.
It's 9 o'clock. We need to wrap it up. Russ will be here for a few extra minutes. We want to ask a question out in the hall, but we have one gentleman that's been very adamant. I want to make sure you get your question in.
Hi, I'm Michael Goldstein. I actually won one of the LA Press Club's famous cheese cutter awards for that's the plaque.
It's the cheese board.
Cheese board.
It's the name for our plaque in the Southern California Girls Awards. It looks like a cheese board, so we call it the cheese board.
Yeah. For LA Times West story last year. And my question is, it's interesting what you were saying about populating information about Sherman Oaks, or for that matter, I live in Encino. Mm-hmm. Is that, when you're talking about populating information coming from the readers, are you talking about paying people? And What do you see as the role of freelancers